Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo here once again with your Friday football betting bonanza. And just for the fun of it, I thought I would drag our old friend Raphael Esparza along for the ride. Raphael, how you doing, old boy?
We got old right, but I'm doing good. I mean, football's been a grind. You know me. I love betting totals, college football, college basketball. My creme of the creme right now, college football totals. I got my hands on my ankles and I'm asking for a hug afterwards. So hopefully we turn things around because I like the card this weekend. Because some good games in college football. We discussed earlier this football NFL card is there's a lot of unmatchable games and maybe unwatchable games at the same time. So this was a tough one for the NFL for me to pick some stuff.
Yeah, we finally got a good Thursday night game, kind of. It was good if you were on Arizona. Finally saw some points scored in that. It's funny that you mentioned that about NFL totals because one of the trends of this season has been lower scoring and the under. Just take the under. What was it?
Yep.
Last week we talked about the NFL is getting real easy to handicap. Just take the points, right? Underdogs covering it 61% of the time. Well, the games have gone under so far through the first 6 weeks of the season at a 61% clip. High scoring game yesterday on Thursday. Do we expect scoring to start to kick in at some point, or should we keep riding this 60% under trend?
I mean, there's some games where I don't see any offense being produced. I mean, but there's some games that I like, some overs I think that can cash. I mean, the Monday night game, the totals there was 39. It's creeped up to a little bit 40. There's a lot of old totals are in the 41s, 42s. Last year we saw a lot of 48s, 49s, some even 50s creep up. So, boy, it looks at when you the season to season. That's why looking at last year, I hate when people say, "Oh, last year this, last year that." Well, if you looked at last year's stuff and this year's stuff, it's totally night and day. But I think there's some games we could see some offense. I think like Baltimore, Cleveland. I think we'll see some offense on that. Giants, Jaguars, I think we'll see some offense, even though it's a low total at I think 43 and a half. So hopefully we'll see some offense produced. Monday night, take the wife out. Take the wife out for dinner on Monday night, your girlfriend, whatever. Maybe see what's going on in wrestling on another channel. But Monday nights, plan something because the Bears in New England is not going to be a good one.
The Bears are my team. Again,
I know.
Right there.
Take Sarah out.
I really need them to lose and keep losing. I got a lot of money, a lot of big tickets wrapped up on their season win total under. Raphael, have you given any thought as to the why scoring is down and why we are seeing so many unders? Everybody's got a theory. Let's talk from the gambling perspective. What's your thought as an NFL analyst?
I think parity might be some of it. I mean, there's just some bad teams out there, plain and simple. You just look over your shoulder with your Bears picture behind you. I mean, there's some bad teams out there. And I just think a lot of people, defense, speed in the NFL defense, I think is really, really key. Where before you would get a linebacker and you didn't care how fast he was. All you wanted him to do was hit someone hard. Now it's all about speed. And I think that the defense is finally catching up with the offense. Last couple of years, it's been offense, especially with these new quarterbacks coming into the league. Now I think teams are preparing for more speed on defense to try to catch that speedy quarterback that everyone likes. So I think it's just the NFL starting up and saying, hey, you know what? If the offense is so fast, we're going to put it fast on defense.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this whole thing, which I'm going to put into my NFL power rankings, which are released every Tuesday at DocsSports.com. Be sure to go over there, check that out. Also, be sure to click on the link and take advantage of the free $60 that we are offering. That's $60 free to be used towards any handicapper, any package in any sport. NBA, NHL are both going right now. Maybe you want something to get you through, that awkward in between football weekends. Well, go over to Doc Sports and we got you covered. Raphael, you mentioned about the speed on defenses. One of the things that I think that's happening is we're starting to see the pendulum swing the other way, right? All of the rules were changed to favor passing. So all of the offenses went towards more passing based. So all of the defenses went towards defending the pass, right? More speed, faster guys, more nickel based coverage. Well, now one of the things that I think that we're seeing is the pendulum swinging back the other way. Now teams are running the ball, okay? We're seeing more and more teams getting back to hard-nosed, old-school, run-the-ball football, especially bad teams. That's one of the things with the Bears. They're a bad team. They have no skill position talent, right? So they still got to do something. What are they going to do? They're going to try and run the ball 40 times a game. More running, keep that clock moving, eat up the game, and lower scoring. That's one of several things that I think that we're seeing. Another thing is a lot of the teams are playing. They're all running the same scheme, right? That Shanahan Kubiak scheme that Sean McVay took. Well, now we got Sean McVay's clones going out. Now everybody's running the same offense. Okay, it's a lot easier to prepare for the offense when you're seeing the same offense week in and week out. And that Shanahan Kubiak offense has never been a big play offense. It's been about moving the chains, chunk plays, those types of things, but not big explosive plays. So again, we could talk about this for a long time. There's not enough good offensive linemen. Everybody talks about quarterback shortage. No, there's an offensive lineman shortage in the NFL. If you don't have a good line, ask Tom Brady what happens to your offense.
Or Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's got a bad line.
Exactly. There's not a good enough lineman out there. So, all right, two teams actually that do have two of the best offensive lines in the NFL are matching up when Detroit goes to Dallas. Detroit off a bye. They were everybody's sweetheart coming into the season, these Detroit Lions, and haven't lived up to their billing. While the Cowboys have been surprisingly spry without Dak Prescott. They look like they're getting Prescott back this week. It's 7-point line. Raphael, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, last time we saw Detroit play, Detroit basketball. Sorry, I had to do that just because I used to love watching those old Pistons play. But last time we saw the Lions play, they got goose-egged. They got goose-egged by the Patriots. It was 29-0, which they were on scoring machines. They put up 45 against Seattle, 24 against Minnesota, 36 against the Commanders. So they were scoring at will, and then all of a sudden, boom, their offense went MIA. I think their offense might go MIA again just because Dallas defense, which we all were saying it was a really, really good defense, maybe the best defense in the league, didn't look too good against the Eagles. And granted, that game was closer than maybe the score didn't look. I mean, the Cowboys pulled it a 3, Cooper Rush. I had some bad interceptions, tip ball. I hate, first of all, I think if a balls get tipped and gets interception, I don't think the quarterback should be responsible for that interception. They should have a different category because it's not his fault it was tipped or dropped or something like that. But that's another story. But they were still in that game. So I like Dallas in this just because I think Dallas rebounds on defense, not their offense. I think Dak Prescott will control the offense a little bit more. They're still going to want to run the ball. But I like the Dallas D to bounce back and get the big W. And I think they cover this number.
So that was going to be my next question is what do you think about the number? The matchup is the matchup, but we see a lot of 7s out there. There's a lot of 6.5, 7-point games with underdogs covering the way that they have been. Shouldn't we just be taking the Lions on spec here?
No, because last time I saw the Lions, again, they got goose-egged. They couldn't run the ball. They were having a lot of drop passes, some bad route running against the Patriots. And I'm not saying the Patriots D's know a bad defense. It's a good defense, but they just couldn't do anything on that one. And if it is a high-scoring game, which the Detroit can pull on that, I just think Dallas has a little bit more offensive weapons. And with Dak coming back, like I said, I'll lay the 7 until Detroit can prove me different. I mean, let's face it, their only win was against Washington, and look what Washington has been doing so far this year. They're not no dynamite game or team.
All right. Speaking of bad teams, 2 more of them with winning records, I guess I should add, are getting together when the Colts take on the Titans. Now, if this feels like a little bit of deja vu, because they just played like 2 days ago. They just played a few weeks ago with the Titans going into Indianapolis, getting outgained by like 160 yards, but coming away with the win. So I guess you could say the Colts have momentum. I mean, they've won a couple of games in a row. They still look pretty bad to me. Last week's offensive explosion aside, the Titans, it's just tough to get excited about them. When last we saw them, they were barely escaping Washington with a win. Thank you to Carson Wentz for another ill-timed goal line interception. Raphael, how can we get excited about either one of these teams? And do you see value here in what the odds makers have pegged as kind of a coin flip game?
Well, let's give the soccer clap to the Indianapolis Colts last week because a lot of us had the Indianapolis Colts last week that we cashed. And Don't DM me about, hey, how come so and so had this game they lost? We don't all know each other's handicapper plays. So it is we don't work in cubicles. We don't say, hey, who do you like today? I like this today. So don't DM me and ask me how come Robert Ferringo won this one and you didn't play it or blah blah blah. We don't work in cubicles. So that's one thing I would like to say. But does the Colts only play two teams, the Jaguars and Titans? That seems like every week it's just those two games. I can't get excited. This one, I totally agree with you. I want nothing to do with Tennessee. I thought they were going to be a mediocre this year, and I was high on the Colts. I thought the Colts would easily win this division, and boy, sometimes I'm eating crow as I watch them play. I kind of like that they've won back-to-back games, 3 out of 4. I think they have the redemption factor on this because they lost the Titans already. If I had to play with your money or Sarah's money, I'd probably look at the road team, but I want nothing to do with this game.
Yeah, I've actually surprisingly seen some big plays from handicappers on both sides of this game. It feels like whatever side people fall on this game, they really, really like it. The Titans are one of those teams that I try and keep at arm's length because they win and they cover, but they're not a good football team. If you watch them play, if you look at them statistically, they're not very good, but they just find ways to win games. It's kind of been Mike Vrabel's calling card, right? And honestly, we're seeing a little bit of it with Arthur Smith, who worked with Arthur Smith and defensive coordinator Dean Pease, head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and the defensive coordinator. They came from Tennessee, right? We're kind of seeing the same thing with the Falcons. They're not a very good team. They don't have a lot of talent. Statistically, they're a little weak, but all they do is cover the spread. So the Titans are one of those teams that I really don't like to bet on or against because they always play well as an underdog. They don't play well as a favorite. This is two bad teams. So this is a game that I'm going to be paying absolutely no attention to until Monday morning when I do my Monday rewatch. So, all right, Raphael, another game that absolutely at the beginning of the season, no one had circled as like kind of a key game in week 7 or even a moderately interesting game. But this one jumped out at me. The Giants, 5-1 Giants, heading down to Jacksonville to take on the loser Jaguars, who, you know, that big blowout win against the Chargers is looking more and more like one of those early season anomalies that happen every year. The Jaguars stink, yet they're favored by 3 points over the 5-1 Giants. Raphael, is this the proverbial trap line here?
It's my favorite line in Empire Strikes Back. It's a trap. It's a trap. I would say, yeah. I want nothing to do with this game because it just smells weird. It just smells. Why wouldn't I take the Giants? You said 5-1 against the spread. Huge win last week against Baltimore. I mean, let's face it. Baltimore is everyone's creme of the creme in that division. They were going to run away with that division, especially with all the injuries and stuff that the Browns were going through. Big win in England, beating Aaron Rodgers. I mean, all this team does is win and cover games. So what do you think that locker room? I said this last week. This locker room's probably one of the funnest locker rooms and practices to go to because no one said they were going to be 5-1 this year. No one thought the Giants were going to be this good. Barkley healthy. Barkley should win MVP and comeback player of the year in my mind because he's the reason, probably one of the main reasons why they're 5-1. They're going to have coach of the year probably on this team. So, yeah, it's either Giants or pass for me because the last time I saw the Jags favorite, they were -7 favorites, I think, a week ago. They lost. So I want nothing. They're not a favorite here. Give me a break. It's a Giants or nothing for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. And again, I put it on paper and I want to get out there in these videos. I have been saying since the middle of last season that I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust. And I think he stinks. I don't think he's good. Everybody was so quick to give him a pass on how bad he was because of Urban Meyer last year. Urban Meyer wasn't the one airmailing 5-yard outs. He's a turnover machine. He turns the ball over. He makes bad decisions. I've seen nothing yet from Trevor Lawrence that makes me think that he is going to be even a competent NFL quarterback, much less a franchise cornerstone for this group. So I'm with you. There's not a lot to like. I'm kind of the opposite of you. Gun to my head, I think I would take the Jaguars just because, to your point, when the line is so odd like this, when the line makes absolutely no sense, you bet on the side that doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? Bet with the books, basically, is what I'm saying. Around 70% of the action is coming in on the Giants. John Q. Public is just looking at the two records of these teams and saying, I'm taking the better team with the points here. I'm not betting this game, but if I did, I'd go the other way and bet with the Bucs. All right, get all the crappy games out of the way. We got one real game this week. And this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to watching as well as betting on. I got a big play on the total in this game. Kansas City heading out to San Francisco. Raphael, what do you like?
I'm hoping and praying the 49ers win this game and blow out because I'm tired of all this Kansas City talk. They just lost to Buffalo, and we're still giving them talk about, oh, they're still the top 3 team in the league, blah, 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 blah. Patrick Mahomes can throw touchdown passes with his feet, and he would still be an MVP candidate. Give me a break. I mean, this Kansas City defense is no good. I mean, they just give up points after points, and we still inaugurate them as one of the top 3 teams in the league. How would you feel right now in San Francisco when you just found out that you just traded for CMC, for McCaffrey? I mean, granted, I know he's injury prone, but now McCaffrey's coming to a team where he doesn't have to carry the load. He's got 2-3 other running backs and other weapons where he doesn't have to touch the ball every down and get crushed because his offensive line stinks, and that's why he gets hurt. So, I mean, I just like the momentum of this. Even though the 49ers have not been playing well, they're 3-3 straight up and against the spread. I know KC is creme of the creme. They're the greatest team ever to only win 1 Super Bowl. But I like the 49ers this spot. I'm not sold on Kansas City. I wasn't sold when the season started. Everyone says, oh, I'll bet the total season wins. What were they, 11 and a half or something like that? I'll bet it over. They are 4-3 when this game's over with. I like the 49ers. Jimmy G, give me Jimmy G in that Subway commercial.
Yeah, I mean, these are the games that San Francisco shows up in, right? Like they look like trash last week in Atlanta. They're down 14-0. They get shut out in the second half, but now they're playing, one of the best, whether you like it or not. Kansas
one of the best. Oh yeah.
Well, listen, with all the incompetence spread throughout the NFL, I kind of like having a team like Kansas City that I know exactly what I'm going to get from them every week, and that's going to be high level football. They may not win every week. I thought their defense played excellent last week against Buffalo. Those are the 2 best teams in the NFL. I don't even think it's close. I mean, I like Philadelphia as much as the next guy, but those are the 2 best teams.
You like Philly more? You like Philly over Kansas City, or Kansas City over Philly right now?
Yes, 1,000%. What are you kidding me right now? Like,
no.
Who is Philadelphia beating? Like, what have they?
Who did Kansas City lose to? We just bashed the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts beat Kansas City.
The same group of Chiefs win Super Bowls, win AFC championships. I know what I'm going to get from this group. Okay, they're not the flavor of the month. They're not the trendy team. They're just good. Okay, so when they win this game out in San Francisco, now I'm taking the opposite side just because when they win this game in San Francisco, they're going to prove why, because they're going to go out and they're going to say, oh, San Francisco, they have this great roster. Look at all these players. Oh, this is a sleeper team. They're hurt every year. Guys on San Francisco are hurt every year.
Oh, I agree on that.
And Kyle Shanahan's a proven loser. Like that guy's a loser. Okay, he can take the best roster in football and blow it time after time after time after time. Give me Andy Reid. Give me Patrick Mahomes' feet, and give me the Chiefs in this one. But one thing I want to ask you about, okay, because we are recording this on Friday, and the Christian McCaffrey deal, the ink is barely dry on that. Do you see a big move like this, a big blockbuster trade like this? Do you think it's going to impact the line? The line, before we came on, I checked it, and it was still 2.5. Do you see San Francisco getting some money in? Do you see this line moving because they got Christian McCaffrey?
I think Joe Public will bet some of it. I mean, I don't see the wise guys jumping on board. It is a solid 2 right now. There is 1.5 globally. But it is a solid 2. Yeah, but I just think that's Joe Public. I haven't seen any big bets jump on board since the big trade and all that. But I mean, I'm just hoping the gambling gods can give me something for the 49ers win so I can text you after the game and stuff like that. I'm not going to have any action. I'm not going to have any action on the game, but I just want that. So it gives me something to text you on Sunday.
Okay, Raphael, I know it's your birthday there, birthday boy, but instead of giving you a gift, we want you to give the viewers a gift. You got a free play winner for them for the weekend?
I'm going to take the garbage game on Monday night. The Bears, New England. I'm going to take the over. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's not low. I mean, the Bears offense, I know is bad, but I think New England and the greatest Italian restaurant named Zeppi, I think they could put some points on the Bears. I think the Bears can muster up maybe 10 to 14 points, but I think New England can put up, a little bit more than 20, 28 and stuff like that. I can see a 28-14 type of game like that. I just like the way how New England pretty much did a total 360. And now they're running the ball, and that helps the Giuseppe his situation with the slam plays and opens up the middle in the second half. So I think New England wins. I wish it was 7 because I would say take New England. I don't think this comes down to 7. I think it stays solid 8, maybe 8.5. But I'll take a shot at the over because I want to watch a good game on Monday.
Yes, bet what you want to see happen, not what you think is going to happen. I think I heard no gambler ever say that. You know what? You're right, though, about the Bears. Their offense is a little bit better than the numbers suggest. And just statistically, you have to expect a regression. They went 0 for 3. They had 3 shots last week, 3 drives inside the Washington 5-yard line. They got 0 points. 0 for 3 in goal-to-go situations last week. They're in a statistical regression range. I actually released the play on the Patriots in that game. But ever since I wished I didn't. I think the Bears find a way to scum this game up and turn it into like a 24-21 type of game. My free play, I'm going to take the over in the Lions-Cowboys game. You mentioned that the last time we saw Detroit, they were getting shut out. They also didn't have any of their skill position players. They were really, really banged up. They needed that bye week to get healthy. I think that they're going to be fresh on that side of the ball. I also think that the Cowboys defense is a little overrated. I think they're a little bit overvalued right now. Micah Parsons, for you guys that are too young to have watched Lawrence Taylor play, this is what it was like watching Lawrence Taylor play. That's what it's like watching Micah Parsons. But Detroit's going to score, and they can't stop anybody. Dallas is going to get Dak Prescott back. I think he's going to give their offense another gear. Their skill position players are healthy. And Detroit they can't stop anyone. No one can stop them, and they can't stop anyone. This number's under 50. I thought it should have been around 51.5. So there's a little value baked into it. So give me the over. All right. He's Raphael Esparza. I'm Robert Ferringo. We are Doc Sports. Until next time, Carpe Diem and good luck.